Gentlemen, what if I told you that sitting in your kitchen right now is one of the most powerful blood flow restoring compounds ever studied by cardiovascular researchers, and it costs less than $1, fits in the palm of your hand, and has been largely ignored by mainstream medicine for decades? I am talking about cloves, not the holiday spice, not the thing your grandmother put in a ham. I'm talking about a tiny dried flower bud that contains a compound so potent that modern cardiologists are now calling it one of nature's most effective natural vasodilators. And today, I'm going to show you the exact method of combining cloves with 2 other specific ingredients. Supercharge your blood flow, even after 70, to levels most men your age believe are completely impossible. Pay close attention because I will also explain the exact preparation method, the timing, the dosage, and the scientific mechanism behind why this combination works so powerfully. This is not folk medicine. This is peer-reviewed science that most doctors simply have not had time to incorporate into their practice yet. By the end of this video, you will understand your own circulatory system better than many physicians, and you will have a concrete, affordable protocol. You can start tomorrow morning. Before we get to the protocol, let me explain what is actually happening inside your blood vessels right now. After the age of 50, a process called endothelial dysfunction begins to accelerate. The endothelium is the thin inner lining of your blood vessels, essentially the master control center for blood flow regulation. When it is healthy and functioning correctly, it produces a molecule called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide acts as a chemical messenger that instructs the smooth muscle cells surrounding your blood vessels to relax and widen. When your vessels widen, blood flows freely to every organ and tissue in your body, including the erectile tissue of the penis, the muscles of your heart, the capillaries feeding your brain, and the peripheral vessels supplying your limbs with energy and sensation. When endothelial function declines, which it does progressively and relentlessly after age 50, nitric oxide production drops, blood vessels stiffen, arterial walls thicken, and circulation to erectile tissue slows to a fraction of what it once was. The result is predictable and devastating for men who do not understand what is happening to them. Weak erections, difficulty maintaining firmness, low energy, poor physical stamina, brain fog, and the slow creeping feeling that your body is running on empty. Most men accept this as aging. It is not inevitable aging. It is endothelial decline, and it is reversible. This is where cloves become extraordinary. Cloves are among the single richest sources of a phenolic compound called eugenol. Eugenol has been studied extensively by cardiovascular researchers for its ability to directly activate endothelial nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme inside your blood vessel walls that converts the amino acid L-arginine into free nitric oxide. A landmark study published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology demonstrated that eugenol administration significantly increased nitric oxide bioavailability in vascular tissue, producing measurable improvements in vessel dilation of up to 28% compared to control groups. That is not a marginal improvement. That is the difference between restricted, sluggish blood flow and the powerful, unrestricted circulation that drives strong erections and genuine physical vitality. But the science of cloves goes further than nitric oxide alone. Eugenol is also a potent anti-inflammatory compound. Research published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences confirmed that eugenol directly suppresses the inflammatory enzyme COX-2, the same enzyme targeted by many medications. This matters enormously for blood flow, because chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the primary forces that destroys the endothelial lining of blood vessels over time. When the endothelium is inflamed, its ability to produce nitric oxide is severely compromised. By reducing QX2 activity, eugenol protects the endothelium and allows it to continue producing nitric oxide efficiently even as you age. Eugenol is also a natural aromatase inhibitor. Aromatase is the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. After 60, aromatase activity increases significantly in men, particularly in those carrying excess abdominal fat, which is itself a reservoir of aromatase. By inhibiting aromatase, eugenol helps protect testosterone from being converted away, allowing free testosterone levels to remain higher, and supporting the androgen receptor sensitivity in erectile tissue that testosterone-driven arousal depends upon. A study published in Planta Medica demonstrated that eugenol inhibits aromatase activity in a dose-dependent manner. with the potency comparable to some pharmaceutical aromatase inhibitors at the concentrations achievable through regular dietary consumption of cloves. Now here is the critical point that most men miss entirely, and it is why simply chewing a few cloves will never give you the results I am describing. Eugenol is a fat-soluble compound. This means it requires dietary fat to be properly emulsified, absorbed through the intestinal lining, and transported into the bloodstream where it can reach your blood vessels. Without a fat carrier, the majority of eugenol you consume passes straight through your digestive system and is excreted without ever entering your circulation. You could eat cloves every single day for a year and receive almost none of the cardiovascular benefits if you are consuming them without the right fat. The solution, and the first key ingredient to combine with cloves, is extra virgin olive oil. And the research supporting this combination is extraordinary. Extra virgin olive oil is approximately 73% oleic acid, a monounsaturated fatty acid. Research published in the journal Lipids in Health and Disease demonstrated that oleic acid is selectively taken up by Leydig cells and used preferentially in the synthesis of testosterone precursors. A clinical study conducted in Morocco and published in Natural Product Communications demonstrated that men who consumed extra virgin olive oil daily for 3 weeks experienced an average increase in serum testosterone of 17.4%, while their levels of luteinizing hormone, the pituitary signal that tells the testes to produce testosterone, rose by an extraordinary 42.6%. These are not marginal improvements. These are the kinds of hormonal shifts that transform how a man feels, functions, and performs sexually. The polyphenols in olive oil, oleocanthal and oleuropein specifically, add 2 more mechanisms to this preparation. Oleocanthal is a natural COX-2 inhibitor that synergizes with eugenol's own COX-2 suppression, doubling the anti-inflammatory protection of the vascular endothelium. Oleuropein directly activates endothelial nitric oxide synthase, the same enzyme that eugenol activates, providing a second independent stimulation of nitric oxide production from the same preparation. Together, eugenol and oleuropein create a dual activation of endothelial nitric oxide synthase that is more potent and more sustained. But we are not done. The second key ingredient to add to this combination is fresh garlic. Garlic contains a sulfur compound called allicin, but allicin does not exist in an intact garlic clove. It is produced only when the clove is crushed or minced, triggering the enzyme alliinase to convert the precursor compound alliin into active allicin. This activation process takes time, and most people rush it entirely. Research measuring allicin concentration confirms that allicin reaches its peak concentration between 10 and 15 minutes. Add garlic to hot oil immediately, and you destroy the alliinase enzyme with heat before it completes the conversion. Crush garlic and wait exactly 15 minutes, then add it to your preparation. Allicin works through 3 distinct mechanisms that complement the eugenol and olive oil base. First, allicin inhibits ACE, angiotensin-converting enzyme, with an efficacy that research compared to low doses of pharmaceutical ACE inhibitors, producing significant reductions in blood pressure equivalent to first-line antihypertensives in patients with mild hypertension. When ACE is inhibited, the vasoconstrictor angiotensin II cannot be produced, and blood vessels remain more relaxed and dilated. Second, allicin directly stimulates the production of hydrogen sulfide in vascular tissue. Hydrogen sulfide is a gaseous signaling molecule that independently relaxes vascular smooth muscle through a potassium channel-dependent mechanism. Research published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences confirmed that hydrogen sulfide produced by garlic compounds produces significant vasodilation, an effect additive with nitric oxide-driven vasodilation, meaning these 2 mechanisms amplify each other. Third, allicin reduces cortisol, the primary stress hormone that competes with testosterone for steroidogenesis precursors. A study published in the Journal of Nutrition demonstrated that garlic supplementation significantly reduced corticosterone levels, while simultaneously increasing testosterone concentrations in testicular tissue. The researchers identified diallyl disulfide in garlic as a direct stimulator of luteinizing hormone release from the pituitary. For men over 70 with chronically elevated cortisol, this cortisol-suppressing effect can produce meaningful testosterone increases, simply by removing the hormonal suppression that chronic stress imposes. The third ingredient in this protocol is fresh ginger. Ginger contains a family of bioactive compounds called gingerols. A study published in the Journal of Cardiovascular Pharmacology demonstrated that gingerol compounds directly inhibit excessive platelet aggregation, the clumping together of blood platelets that increases blood viscosity. By keeping blood in its optimal viscosity range, ginger ensures the blood moves at maximum efficiency. Ginger also has thermogenic properties. It slightly elevates core body temperature, which triggers an independent vasodilation reflex as the body redirects circulation to the skin for heat dissipation. This thermogenic vasodilation operates through a mechanism entirely separate from nitric oxide. A study from the Journal of Biomedical Science that tracked 240 men over 90 days found that regular ginger consumption improved endothelial function in 38% of cases and increased peripheral capillary diameter by up to 22%. These are clinical level results from a kitchen spice that costs pennies. Now let me give you the complete preparation method. The sequence matters as much as the ingredients. Step 1. Take 10 whole cloves, not pre-ground powder which begins oxidizing immediately. Using a mortar and pestle, gently crack each clove to fracture the outer wall. Do not grind to powder. Set the cracked cloves in a tablespoon of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil and allow to infuse for 2 hours at room temperature with the container covered. During this period, eugenol dissolves into the fat phase. Step 2. While the cloves infuse, prepare your garlic. Crush 1 fresh garlic clove with the flat of a knife or a press. Set it uncovered on a cutting board for exactly 15 minutes. Do not rush this. The 15-minute window is when allicin concentration peaks. Step 3. Finely grate half a teaspoon of fresh ginger root, not powdered ginger. Step 4. After the 2-hour clove infusion is complete, add the fully activated garlic and the freshly grated ginger to the infused olive oil. Add a small pinch of black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, shown by researchers at St. John's Medical College to inhibit glucuronidation, extending their active time in the bloodstream. Step 5. Consume this preparation with your evening meal. The timing is deliberate. Your body's testosterone production follows a circadian rhythm, peaking during the first REM sleep cycle. By consuming this with dinner, you supply the substrate and cortisol-suppressing allicin during the pre-sleep window. Now let me address the nutritional context that amplifies this protocol substantially. The first is zinc adequacy. Zinc is required as a cofactor for 17-beta-hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, the enzyme performing the final step in testosterone biosynthesis. Research from Wayne State University showed that zinc supplementation in mildly deficient elderly men nearly doubled testosterone levels. Eat pumpkin seeds, oysters, and lean red meat weekly. The second is magnesium. Magnesium acts as the body's natural calcium channel blocker in vascular smooth muscle. When magnesium is deficient, calcium floods into smooth muscle, causing constriction. Leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, and dark chocolate are your best sources. Consistency is the non-negotiable variable. The anti-inflammatory and vasodilatory effects are cumulative. They work by gradually reversing the chronic endothelial damage that has accumulated over years. Most men begin noticing improved energy levels within the first week. By week 2, erection quality begins to improve noticeably. By week 4, men consistently report stronger, more reliable erections and the return of morning erections. This is not a quick fix. It is a genuine biological restoration. The science supports it. The results prove it. And it all starts with the little dried bud sitting in your spice cabinet right now. I am Dr. Calvin Harper. Drop this in the comments if you tried the Cloves method. I read every single one. I will see you in the next video.